All right, welcome back, guys. This is the 2022 Bentley Flying Spur W12, and this is a very special car. Huge thanks to Bentley of Salt Lake City for letting me drive this for an afternoon today with my dad, and it's been a very special experience. This is about $220,000 or so, or roughly $100,000 more than the Mercedes S580 that I had for a week just a couple weeks back. And I loved that Mercedes. And so jumping into this Flying Spur with it being a similar size, I thought, let's see how they compare. And we found some really interesting things in our afternoon of driving this. And overall, as you can see, this is a beautiful car with a ton of presence. The exterior is really what it nails just perfectly. This thing rolling down the road, there's no mistaking that this is a very special luxury car. So I'm going to show you a bit of the interior while we just drive this back to the dealership and kind of talk about our experience with it. And then hopefully we can kind of guide you in deciding if the Bentley Flying Spur W12 is a good choice for the money, or should you save about $100,000 and buy the Mercedes S580. So starting up the Flying Spur W12 is pretty amazing. Just press this button here and it comes to life. Very cool. All right, so starting off in the 2022 Bentley Flying Spur W12, and we've been in this for about an hour or so, and we've had some interesting impressions with this car. Kind of like I mentioned in the introduction, the exterior is really amazing.
Yeah, the presence is incredible.
Yeah, serious presence. I mean, it's right up there, you know, with Rolls-Royce. There's, like I said, no mistaking that this is something very luxurious and very special. And it should be, you know, for a price tag of $220,000 or so, or even more, you know, depending on how it's spec'd. You'd hope that this would be something special, and it is. It drives pretty incredible. It's pretty smooth.
The acceleration is phenomenal. It has all-wheel steering, all-wheel drive, all-wheel steering. It powers right through the corners, just amazing.
Yeah,
it tracks so well.
Yeah, it handles really well, like far better than you'd think something this large would handle. I mean, it's definitely not a sports car, but yeah, going around the corners, you'd think it would just heave itself around them, and it really doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
It handles it really well. And the acceleration is, you're right, this massive W12 turbo engine is just immense. If you've never, this is my second or third time driving a something equipped with a, well, W12 or V12, but every time I'm just struck by just how smooth and just immense the power is. I don't know how else to describe it. It's kind of just like a rocket.
Yeah,
accelerating.
It's absolutely a bottomless bucket of torque.
Yeah, there you go.
And it's a good thing the seats are well padded, because it will set you back.
Yeah. And I mean, for both of us, I mean, for me, the seats are very comfortable. They're endlessly adjustable, and they're not quite as easy to adjust as something like in the S580, where you had the full massive center screen to kind of guide you through what you were looking at, and as far as like the adjusting on the seats, but so far I'm really pleased. Something that is kind of surprising that we both noted is that there's not as much interior room as you might be expecting. I kind of thought and expected it would be this very open and airy experience up around, your chest, but also in the footwell. And it's kind of surprisingly small.
It is not tight, but
No.
but for the size of it is on the exterior, the interior is just a little bit. It's snug, but it's very. It's not by any stretch uncomfortable.
No,
it's just
it's incredible.
Not what you would expect.
Yeah.
Based on the size of the vehicle.
Yeah. And the same kind of goes for the rear seat. There's some pretty awesome features back there. There's there's a tray table that's motorized. You can fold down, and put your laptop or read the Wall Street Journal or, have your little kid play with their My Little Pony dolls, or I don't know what you use the tray in the back for, but it's there and it's cool. There's also like a little detachable, almost like an iPhone back there that you can control all of the main controls, including the hood ornament, from this little screen in the back.
Yeah, you have your own personal remote control that controls everything in the car. Oh, man.
Woo! Pull some G's in this thing.
You really can. It's amazing. What is it, 22-inch tires? Is that what it has?
He said, I think the fronts might be 22 and the rears might be 23, is what he said.
For the amazing thing is it is smooth as glass.
Yeah.
Over some particularly nasty roads.
Yeah.
But I come from driving a pickup truck, so everything's smooth to me, but this thing is smooth.
Well, and even compared to the S580 that we had, I think that this, and for $100,000 more, you expect that, but this is a little bit more smooth even, and I thought the S580 was very impressive, and it is very impressive, but this is, well, I think my dad described it really well. It's just, it's like just glass wherever you go. I mean, if that's what you're after, and that's what that extra money, that's what that extra $100,000, I mean, it's, once you get up into the $130,000 range, it's really anything above and beyond that is just very small incremental improvements. But if you have the means, then those incremental improvements, can make all the difference. And if the ultimate ride quality is what you're after, I think you're going to be really happy. And if it's money well spent above and beyond the S580. That said, though, I think that the S580 does a lot of things better.
I would agree. This is, I've owned a few English cars, and English cars, by and large, in my experience, always have their little idiosyncrasies. And you said it right. Like even something as simple as adjusting the seat. In the S580, it was completely intuitive. It gave you a graphic of the seat on the display, and you simply chose what areas you wanted to adjust and moved your finger.
And that might be available in this screen. We just haven't had time to find it.
We just don't know where to find it.
But that's part of what we're getting at, is this, it's not as intuitive as something as the new S580 and the MBUX system that, for their infotainment.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
Yeah, and this, it's the fact that we don't really know what all are in the depths of this screen and what it can really do. And if you took the time to find it, I'm sure that it would be just as intuitive to you as once you own the car for a while. But it's going to take some education.
There's a bit of a learning curve.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's simply the fact that it has its own nomenclature, its own little idiosyncrasies that you got to learn.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, at the end of the day, this, puts out 620 or so horsepower, I think, and about that same number. I'm just going from, foggy memory here in torque, it's incredible. The thrust is amazing. So you definitely have more power than in the S580, but, it's about 120 horsepower difference.
Yeah, it's enough that you really don't care what the number is. It's just when you put your foot down, you're going to go where you're pointed very quickly.
Yeah, which again, thanks that
with authority.
With authority. No one's going to question you, coming in this thing. And thank heavens for that four-wheel steering, because I do think it makes a difference here.
Yes.
With how large it is. So, but yeah, another thing too with the S580 compared to this is that I think that there might be a little bit more room in up front for the driver and passenger, but also for the rear passengers. I think there's more foot room. I think there's more shoulder room, and I'm just going off of impressions and my memory. But how do I say this? My initial impressions right away of the S580 was very impressive, and I was blown away by that car, especially for only being 130 grand. And so coming into the Flying Spur, like the tip top of the Bentley lineup, I had really high expectations, and this is a wonderful car. I mean, we are nitpicking. This is an incredibly amazing car, and I'm really just I'm just fine picking here, but it didn't quite live up to the level that I thought that it would, especially with it being 100 grand more. But that said, if it's the incremental improvements you're after, above and beyond something like S580, then yes, you'll probably find your money well spent. If not, go drive the S580 and drive both and see what you like. Yeah, you can feel that four-wheel, look at that tight turning radius. Amazing.
Yeah, it's just incredible for a car this size.
The engineering here is just incredible. So that's about going to wrap it up for us, but again, big thanks to Bentley of Salt Lake. This is just an amazing vehicle. Bentleys in general are just incredible, and if you haven't checked out Bentley of Salt Lake or Lamborghini of Salt Lake, you need to. Their inventory is amazing. They're owned by just some of the best people you'll ever meet. And if you're in the market for a Flying Spur and you just want the top, and you're more of a Bentley guy or gal than a Rolls-Royce guy or gal, I think you're going to have a lot to love here, because this has just insane presence, and the attention to detail is just incredible. I mean, just looking at the headlight reflection in the mirror here in front of us is just mind-blowing. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you've enjoyed. We'll see you later.
Bye.